I want us to start with form because Pirates, as you've been saying, consistently, they just played their, what do you call it? Hoodoo team.
Yeah, who the team?
Yeah, they just played their hoodoo team in Cape Town Spurs, and Chiefs won against Golden Arrows. How much impact will those two results have on the match that we are having on Saturday?
I think both sides will be amped going into this Saturday's encounter.
Mm,
With the fact that Orlando Pirates dropped the points and the fact that
mm,
Kaizer Chiefs registered their first win of of 2024.
mm,
So it's going to be. I'm anticipating a very 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 great game because now
mm,
you look at where both sides find themselves in the log table. I mean,
mm,
one is just on top of the other one, 30 points, about
mm,
29 points, and you look at who's on top of them because our Cape Town City are also trying to push. Their Steelies have also been in a good run of form. So the
mm,
position for the Kev spot, the competition for the Kev spot is definitely on and it's definitely
mm,
hitting. So it wouldn't. I mean, it's definitely the last derby of the season because the
mm.
other side is out of the Nedbank
We're
Cup. So
done.
yeah, we are done. We are done. We packed our things and left the group. So it's definitely the last one, and one of the two teams will
Mm,
definitely want the bragging rights to close
mm,
this season and take it to the next fixture, yeah, next season. So it's a big game in the
mm,
context that it might open up competition for the second spot, third spot, fourth spot. Uh,
mm,
but for the fans, it's more than the league position. It's a bragging rights
yeah,
thing.
that's true.
And
Mm,
yeah, no, that's why it's still attracting a lot of numbers, even today
mm,
when both sides are not maybe competing for the league, and the other
mm,
one has had a long trophy drought. But it's still a game that puts South African
mm.
football on the map
Sure.
globally. So
Yeah. And I think one of the things that Mina I've said personally is that I don't actually think that whether Chiefs had won 5-0 or Pirates had lost 3-0, derbies does not seem like form matters at all. You can
nope.
see Chiefs flying, they go to a derby, it goes group. Or you can see Pirates flying, they come to a derby. Like last season, heading towards both derbies, Chiefs was not in a good position, but we won both derbies under Atazwan, and then we lost in the Telecom
Nedbank,
knockout, but
yeah,
in the Nedbank Cup.
yeah.
But to me, I'm that person who doesn't care about if form when we're heading to the derby because it always feels like form yeah in.
Yeah, definitely. You're right. Because you look at what happened last season. Kaizer Chiefs won both league games under
Mm,
Coach Arthur. And I
mm,
think it was both games were won, if I'm not mistaken, over a one goal margin, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
But
that
if you
mad
look
goal.
at yeah, and that beautiful mud goal. So
Mm,
and on the day Kaizer Chiefs were playing as their away side. And
mm,
this time around again, Kaizer Chiefs are playing as their away side. So it definitely doesn't matter when it comes to form because it's all about who will be good on the day and
mm,
who converts or uses the chances that they create. Because if you look at what happened last season when we went to the Nedbank Cup semi
mm,
final, a lot of Kaizer Chiefs fans were happy that we are playing Orlando
mm.
Pirates because we thought we had their number, and it also
Even the
proved
players
what you're saying.
celebrated.
Yeah, and it also proved that derby is not about form, man. It's about
Mm,
who's good on the day and who capitalizes on the chances that they create
exactly.
on that particular day.
Mm,
So, I mean, Orlando Pirates might have dropped points against the bottom of the team side, but that
mm,
doesn't necessarily mean that Kaizer Chiefs will walk away with the 3 points. A lot of
mm.
fighting still needs to take place in Joburg come this Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. And you are saying, we're saying both of us, form doesn't matter. What about Chiefs and Pirates? There's been a lot of talk about how bad Chiefs are, but you look at the log table, it tells a different story. Are we that different from Pirates, really?
I think it depends on which glasses do you want to view both sides. I mean, the other one has won 3 trophies
Mm,
in a very short space of time, and the other
true.
one has been, we can say they've been struggling in terms of the league both sides, but
Mm,
the other one has trophies to show for
mm,
maybe they can say we've been trying to build this, but we have also managed to get two MTN 8 cups and a single
yeah,
Nedbank Cup, and they are still defending
yeah,
champions of the Nedbank Cup that they are
sure.
still on. So it might be for
True.
Orlando Pirates,
Mm,
but when it comes to the league, it's a different ball game. It's a different
mm,
ball game because now only a point separates the two sides. But if you look at Kaizer Chiefs' point of view, they are not scoring a lot of goals,
mm,
and they are the only side I think in the top eight that has about less than 20 goals scored. In as much as our defense has been solid, we are lacking in front of goal. But for Orlando Pirates, they've had their fair share of converting, but they've also had their fair share of disappointing in,
conceding.
yeah, and conceding, and also play whenever they play sides that you would expect them to get 3 points easily, then they've
Mm,
managed to drop those points. I mean, we've seen before the end of the year how they were
yeah.
leading two games. I mean, with about, I mean, two goals up front, and they were able to lose both games 3-2. It
That was
definitely shows
Stellenbosch,
you
right?
the Stellenbosch one and the Super Sport
Mm.
one.
Super
So
sport as well, yeah.
yeah, it definitely shows you that uh, at come end of the last season, last year, they were lacking maybe the killer instinct, the ability to
Mm,
manage maybe
mm,
the game while you are
mm,
leading it. So a lot of factors come into this game. I mean, if they lead against Kaizer Chiefs, uh,
mm,
maybe the nerves will start to come in because now they've seen themselves dropping maybe 6 points from a point whereby they
yeah,
were leading. So it's definitely going
yeah.
to be a big one. In as much as Chiefs are not scoring enough, but they've been consistent with keeping clean sheets. And one would
And
think that they just need a single goal, nje.
and also, if we even look at the goals that we've scored, I don't want to say are flukes, but they're like, you look at, it had to be something special for us to score against Pirates. That goal that Mart scored,
Yep,
and the second one, it was a mistake by Unda, and he scored an own goal. So we
yep.
didn't really even in the previous season like attack them and destroy them. It was,
Yep.
but yeah, but I think that one question that I have for you is, do you think we are so good defensively because we are bad offensively? What I mean by that is, I don't know if you've seen this. When Chiefs goes forward, Umtetwa looks up in front of him. The only people who are in front of him is the 10 and the front three, and the other team has everyone else behind the ball. So we don't have enough numbers to move the ball when we go forward. And because of that, that also means the opposite is true. We have a lot of numbers when going backwards. So it's not easy to tear us apart because we're sitting so deep. Do you not then think that that nature of our setup is sort of a double-edged sword in a way that it's beneficial for us going backwards, but it's also bad for us because we are not committing enough numbers going forward?
I think it could be one of the factors because if you look at who has been playing in the middle field, I mean, we don't actually have a player that we can say consistently picks itself apart from
Mm,
Yusuf Mart in the middle. I think
Matt,
he's
yeah.
the only one in the middle who has played a lot of games compared to the other guys. In other games,
Mm,
we play Yusuf and then Umtetwa, and the other game we'll see Castillo and Mart. So we don't have a solid or a middle field that picks itself because we
mm,
keep on chopping and changing. And you look at who was maybe playing the 10. Sometimes Ngoba was given about 3 games to start, and then you've
yeah,
seen Keegan Dolly now being brought there. And I think we haven't seen the best of Keegan in that position yet. And I mean,
yeah.
maybe the layoff and the injury that he got has really taken a lot from him. And I think you might be right with the fact that we don't have enough numbers up front. And we
Mm,
also look at the last two goals that Kaizer Chiefs have scored. I mean, I know that we've only scored the single goal in 2024. The last goal that we scored in 2023 was that one, yeah, Ranga. It
yeah,
was a
sure.
it was a moment of brilliance, individual brilliance from him. I
Mm,
mean, hitting it
mm.
from outside the box, and you also saw what Uduba did also a
Do
couple of
yeah.
days ago. It was also from outside the box. So we don't
Mm,
actually. I believe we don't actually play to the strengths of the strikers that we have because now
mm,
a striker like Ranga would definitely need to be in the kitchen just to finish off our moves, and we have
mm,
struggled with that. And you look at maybe other goals, Zabo Pule Modi, you can also see how they come. It's individual brilliance as well. And we
True.
have
That is
also
true.
struggled. Yeah, we have also struggled to score from set pieces. And you have
Mm.
height in terms of Abo given Musimango there.
Bruh.
But we but we are failing to even score from set pieces. So
Yeah.
it frustrates me because now teams would concede corner kicks with the
Mm.
confidence knowing that no, these guys are not threats when it comes to crosses inside the box,
Yeah,
set pieces and
exactly,
everything.
exactly.
You see, so a lot of things
Mm.
have hindered us from getting a lot of goals. I mean, maybe they need to focus on the set pieces because set pieces also wins you games. Look at the game that we
Exactly.
lost, the Nedbank Cup final we lost against Pirates. It was from a
Oh.
dead ball situation.
Mm.
So if we can't, maybe if in the process of us being better in terms of defending, we've also became worse in terms of scoring because
In
even last season in the
attacking,
league we
exactly.
scored 32 goals out of 30
Mm.
games. So we are not I mean we are not um, good in terms of going forward and finishing the moves. I mean, you can look at a player like who Ashley Dupree has also been
Yeah.
missing,
For
Amasita
fun.
as well. So that front line really needs to click, man. It really needs to
Yeah.
click. And I also believe that the fact that maybe at the beginning of the season we were conceding more, the
Mm.
coaches have worked more on the defense, the shape of defense, and I
Yeah.
think it has now taken its shape. You look at the number of clean sheets that we have kept. Look at the
Mm.
clean sheets that Bruce has kept after making his first appearance in a while. He has been consistent with the defense,
Seven
and
out of
one figure.
eight.
I mean, those are
You.
good numbers. And one figure that has always been there, it has to be your given Simango because he has
Mm.
played almost every game from there. And that the rest of the defense has been changing around him. Udove has been playing there, left center back. Ungobo now has been playing. And then you had Klanti at some point, you had
Ditlokwe.
Mashian at some point, you had Frosla, you had Quinika. But the permanent guy that you've seen in that back four has always been given. And I think we can build something nice from there. But we
Mm.
definitely need to start scoring because, in as much as we are ensured that we were going to grab a point or 3 points from keeping clean sheet, we also need to score in order to win
Mm.
games.
Yes, in Manier, I want to agree but disagree with you in a way, in terms of who has been responsible for our clean sheets. I look at the saves that Bruce makes. Aye, man. I I want to give that to him. I know when you are saying it's the whole defense, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
they've not played their part, but it's
Mhm.
only in the game of Swallows where I've really seen Ushanti win a lot of aerial balls, but usually it doesn't.
Mhm.
Abo Kwinika, we saw the mistakes that he was making on Tuesday. We've been seeing even Abo Kevin, he's been good recently, but when before he
Mhm.
got dropped, he was also starting to make mistakes, and then they brought on Ungobo to play for like a couple of games. Just
Mhm.
I guess it was just to say to Msimango, look, awuphumele phandle kancane, think
Yeah.
about it, and then we bring you back. So to me, I'm not saying he's not a key player. I'm saying he's very good. I know him from Test Galaxy,
Yeah.
but I feel like if we're assigning me personally, if I'm assigning who's responsible for the clean sheets, I would say 70% Vuma and
True.
30% the players, because I look at how many clearances that they've made
Mhm.
compared to the saves that they've been made. And I'm thinking to myself, if Vuma has to make those saves, that means there's something questionable about our defense in the first place. And yes, we're not going to defend every ball, but look at
Mhm.
how many things or how many chances are coming against us. Very few because we're sitting so deep. So I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know
Yeah.
if you have any thoughts on that.
No, yes, I think Bruce has definitely came to the party, man. He has
Mm,
made crucial saves, and
mm,
it just had that a couple of our fans or some of our fans don't actually see that he has when like you can play these smaller sides teams and dominate them and dominate possession, but the
mm.
keeper. No one is going to remember. Those are my my favorite tweets. No one is going to remember that you didn't make saves for 80 minutes. That split of a second that you concede when your team
Exactly.
is when your team is off possession and
Exactly.
a shot is taken and then you
Mm,
concede, you are
mm,
definitely going to be attacked. And I'm not
Mm,
promoting players being attacked. What I'm saying is that
mm,
whenever he has been asked to come in and help the side, he has
mm.
definitely came in and made crucial saves, match winning saves. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a game, I
Mm.
think, was it the Polokwane City one? He was exceptional. He was very, very
Yo.
exceptional. But what
Yo,
I'm
I
saying,
remember there was one he
yo,
pushed over like that. Yes,
and then
yes.
the other one is the crossbar. So he was
Mm,
exceptional. He was, and I'm
mm.
I'm very happy for a player like him because he was out for a longer period of time, and I think now
Yo, bruh.
this is definitely his time. He's definitely raised his hand. But all
Mm,
with the point that with the fact that I don't think we struggle that much when it comes to clearances. I mean, like there are balls that will be played inside the box, and I think whenever he plays with Ngobo, I think that's why I'm more comfortable with the balls that are on the air because I know that both of them they are good headers of the ball.
mm, mm.
And you're and you raise something with someone like Uhlante, who I believe I haven't been impressed with this season because
Mm,
I believe he has been struggling. Even the last game that we played, I believe he was still struggling. But the
mm,
two center backs that have been playing there who are more comfortable on the ball, who are able to play maybe from the back as well. I think they've
mm.
done well because last time we were talking about the question of leadership. So a
Yeah.
person like Ubruce, whenever he comes, he will definitely need the experienced player so that he can settle in. And I think he has definitely done that well. And to a point
Mm,
that we can now actually say he's the most consistent player for Kaizer Chiefs in the
yeah.
last 7 or 8 games. He has definitely been
True.
there. And I think we can build something from that.
Mm,
Maybe going into the next season, we can say, okay, the defense doesn't really need much of that attention apart from the left back, but the center backs,
mm.
we can actually start to build something instead of maybe trying to bring in someone from outside and then we start something and then there are a lot of miscommunication. And you look at the goals that we were conceding maybe under Ubrandin. It was not
Mm.
definitely because we're dominated. Some were some silly mistakes from the build up, from our
Yeah.
build ups.
Yeah.
And with someone like Bruce, and I don't mind even if he can hoof it forward, as long as we keep the clean sheets
We
and
clear the
maybe
danger.
yeah, we get the points here and there.
Mm. No, let's do this. Let's go to the starting 11. Let's make
Ish.
our own starting 11 and see what's up. Um, Starting with the goalkeeper, I know we just talked about Bruce, but I know my fan base, they just saw that Kune came back from the suspension in the very same week that we are going to the derby. Do you think there's any chance that he might end up being a starter?
Maybe as no, not as a starter. Maybe on the
Mm,
bench. Maybe
mm-hmm,
because this is definitely his last Soweto derby. Maybe might make
mm,
it on the bench just to get the atmosphere and everything. But
yeah,
I also believe that the two keepers have been doing well, and also uh, as a starter, it would have been nice as a nice send off if we were maybe in a much more better position
yeah, true.
than where we find ourselves in. I mean, it's his last derby.
Mm.
Maybe we can give him minutes. If we lead him, we can make a
If
sub,
we're
a
winning,
goalkeeper.
yeah.
Yeah, no. If we are
But there
winning,
would have to be 3-0. We
yeah.
can't bring him on a 2-1.
Yeah, and then we concede. So, but I
Hey,
really,
Baba.
I really believe he deserves it, man. I mean, yes, he has
Mm,
served the club well. Yeah, we know like there were
yeah,
troubles here and there, but I think he really deserves a proper stand. He has had some of the best games playing against
yeah,
Orlando
true.
Pirates. He has won games for us. I think it will definitely be fitting to maybe give him a proper send off, even if he can come in 90th minute. So that he
Mm.
can maybe soak whatever in and maybe say, yes, I played my last derby. Uh,
If we win,
yeah,
if we're
yeah. If
leading.
hey, that's a strong emphasis on if, but I think he deserves it. I mean, if he
Yeah,
doesn't come in, it's not a train smash. We'll definitely
it's
give him the
not.
last game of the season.
Because it wouldn't be fair to Vuma after performing so well to then just drop him with
Yeah,
Dabi.
I mean, currently now, if you take if you are rating the keepers in terms of clean sheets in South Africa, I mean, Vuma will definitely be up there with
Do
the
you
best. I mean,
think
yes,
Bruce? Do you
mhm.
think Hugo Bruce will take him to? We're going to Algeria, Kir. Is it Algeria or
Yes,
who? Do you think he's gonna call him up?
I think he's going. I think he's going.
Be-
The reason why I'm
because
saying.
there's Umoto there for vibes. There's Ugos who's not doing bad for Super Sport, and then Williams
Yep.
is the captain. So who does he replace
I think he,
as
I think
just
he
as
replaces he could replace Mota because Mota currently is not playing. So
But it's
I'm
vibes.
yeah, but we can't be traveling all over the place for vibes. I
For
mean,
vibes.
unless we're just making you a +1, because now a game against Algeria I think it's definitely a preparation for next year's AFCON. So
Mm,
we're definitely building for towards something, and we have our World Cup qualifiers that will be coming. So we are not here
mm,
to play and for vibes. We're definitely
mm.
focusing on something, and I think Bruce has done well. And remember, Bruce was once on the setup of Hugo Bruce, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, of Hugo Bruce. So he might have watched him and he might have been impressed with some of the saves and some of the performances that he
Because he
has
was
put up.
also in the short list, right? For the
Yes.
AFCON. Yeah.
So
Let's
and the
go.
only thing the only thing that can get you in that team is when you're playing good, and that's what he has been doing so far.
Yeah. Okay. Right back position. The coach has been doing some weird things there. He says there is nothing wrong with Frosler. Uh, what has been your thoughts on Solomons? I know good if Utand was watching this video, would say he falls and fakes injuries. But what have you thought of Kunik on that right back position and Solomons and Frosler? And who do you pick as a starter for the derby?
I think if it was up to me
Mm,
at Kaizer Chiefs, doesn't matter if it's the derby or not.
mm-hmm.
Forsler is my number one right back.
Yeah.
Solomons is number two right back,
Mm,
because I think Zita has played a couple of seasons as a centre back,
yeah.
and if you're gonna have a good crosser of the ball in Frosler,
Yeah.
because we know he's good
Yeah.
and he's good
Mm,
defensively as well. I think one of the best right backs in the country
mm,
whenever he's on form. If you're gonna not gonna play him, maybe rather put in someone with energy like Solomons. We know he's
yeah.
gonna cover ground. We know
Yeah.
he's gonna. He pins I was actually discussing it with someone earlier today that he pins the wingers of the opposition teams backward,
Mm,
and that gives you an
exactly.
advantage, because now he'll definitely take on those one-on-ones, and he'll definitely whip in the
Exactly.
balls inside of the box, and that's where our strikers
You
need to be.
remember that cross he made? Sorry, you remember the cross he made that silent miss last season in that derby?
Yo, what was it? And
Anyway,
I think there's one that he once scored. I think it was against Amazul. I think it was against Amazul. There's one that he scored against Amazul, and I was like, I
yeah,
think it was for the first time I saw Urian Hanamub being
mm.
beaten by someone. And I was like, Solomon has paced for days, bruh.
Yeah,
So he
yeah,
will
Baba.
definitely give us the energy, because with all due respect, I respect Zita as a football.
Mm.
As a football, ne? He has played as a centre back, but as a right back, you can see he's
Let's
comfortable
not make
defending.
sure. Yeah,
But
exactly.
what's gonna happen when you are close to the bar line? What's gonna
Mm.
happen when you now have to whip in a cross? That's
Mm.
not, unfortunately, that's not one of his strengths. So
It's not
maybe
his
as
game.
go back three, he can be comfortable as right back, the one that's not
Mm.
going to attack.
The
It's
right
good.
center back, yeah. Mm.
Yes, but if you are having Sancho on the left, he doesn't have the pace anymore. And if you are
Mm.
having Uzita on the right, I think it's definitely more like four centre backs, because they're definitely not going to give you much going forward. So
Said
and it
enough.
also, when we lose possession, it's gonna leave us uh, with a mess in the middle of the field.
Mm. Said enough. He's starting either way because we see that the coach wants to play him. Ngenkani. Because
But it
I,
hurts, man.
I
It
really don't
hurts.
understand. I would understand if Frosler was dropped, and I know Uguti we am turned but my thing now with Frosler right now is he's not himself. I don't know what happened.
Mhm.
He's not been himself, and that's why in recent games, even when I see Solomon's coming in, I'm like, yeah, this is what Frosler has not been doing, beating people, because it's like our full backs don't cross. And let's go to the left back actually now, Uguti
Mhm.
with Shanti and Mashiane, who do you pick? Or because Dove is not even available. If he was, he
Yeah,
would play as a centre back in any case.
yeah,
Who do
definitely.
you pick?
Uh, just before I move to the left back one, just to add on
Mm,
what you said on the right back, ne? Yes, Fosler has not been himself. So I think now personally, I would start a Solomons, with the
mhm,
fact that as Pirates have creative and quick players. That will
mm,
definitely need to be marked very hard, because now
mm.
If you're gonna need pace if you're going to try and stop someone like Mufokeng running at you. So you
Mofokeng,
definitely
oh,
need
he's
pace.
quick, that
You
boy.
definitely need pace.
Oh.
So on left back, I'll definitely go. In as much as most people would go for the experience, but I'll
Mm,
definitely go for the fresh legs and maybe the hunger of someone like Mashiane, because if
mm,
he has a good game in
mm,
this big game, that
mm,
will definitely change his season up until the end of the season, because now he will take
exactly.
a lot of confidence out of this. And that would also send a strong message to the management and the technical team that I'm raising my hand up for the remainder of the season and next season. I should be playing more, because I mean he's someone
Yeah,
who's 25, 26 now, and we've been protecting him as one of the youngsters. He's no longer a youngster anymore.
he's
He's
no
supposed to
youngster
be
anymore.
playing. He needs to be making appearances. We've seen how good he can be, but I think in this game, I'll go the mid-end up route where he went and threw him for the Soweto derby, and the boy can cross, and the boy
Mm,
can cross.
yeah. Now I think I would agree with you in that sense because, I mean, if people are gonna say Mashian is not good defensively, but it's not like Shanti will withstand the pace of who is he gonna
Yeah.
be marking even? He's either gonna be marking Kim Fuidi if they play him on the right,
Uh huh.
or if they decide on this day they play Umofukeng on the right, maybe to mix things up. We don't know. Derbies always
Yeah.
surprise us.
True.
We might be in trouble because they always put their best players on the side of our weaker player. Because even
Yeah.
the cross that we lost, it came on the side of Ushant, and then Mahopa came and scored at the back post. But the
Exactly.
cross came from the right. So yabo ukuthi vele they are always targeting that side ukuthi
Yeah.
let's
True.
create from that side. So you're not gonna sit here and say, Mashian is not good defensively, but is Lanti good defensively?
Yes. It's
With
all
all
about who
due
is he
respect.
competing with? Who is he competing with?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if I'm gonna have Mashan, at least I know I will get those crosses. And also,
Yeah.
as you said, one of the games that we thought he to Mashan had was what happened in that final of the Champions League. So if he can perform in the derby, then that will do a lot of good for him. So
True.
I agree with you. Center back pairing. I think it's fair to say Msimango and Ngob. What do you think?
True. True. Those two, I think, definitely picked themselves up. I think they've
Mm.
played about 2 or 3 matches. I remember the last 2 games, they've kept clean sheets in those games. I think I'm just not comfortable. I'm just not comfortable sometimes with him, more especially playing as on the left, because he tends to relax. He
Relax too
tends to
much, sure.
relax. But
Mm,
now you look at Pirates, they press. You saw how they were playing against Sundowns. They can press. Makaula will be there, and then he
mm.
will push high up, and then the other midfielders will be expected. And this also talks to the attackers. They will be expected to push high up to press us, because they know we're going to be playing with two players that definitely like to start play from the back, and that I mean, masters of slow build-ups from the back. So we are gonna be
Mm.
pressed. So I'm just not comfortable sometimes with him taking a lot of time before he can release or play a pass. So
Yeah,
that's my worry. But I think they've done so well for so far. Mhm.
because against Arrows I saw there were like 2 or 3 times where they almost took the ball away from him. In fact, I think they did take it in one of the
Yeah.
instances.
And you know
So it
where it
does.
comes from.
Mm.
Remember the game? Remember the game where Atazwani subbed him out and then he refused to shake the hand. He was pressed on
Yeah,
that Arrows game as well. So
exactly.
they had a proper plan on him, because they knew that we've once
Let's do it
pressed him.
again.
Yes, let's go and do it again. So and I think also it goes back to the game that we once played where Nox Mutizwa chipped the ball over Bruce.
Yeah, he
Tower
won the
was
ball back from
pressed. So
Utawa. Yeah.
it's more like we need to press the center backs of Kaizer Chiefs, because they tend to be slow. If you go back to the 4
Mm.
0 defeat that we suffered at Loftus, Ngezana was pressed as
Same
well.
thing.
So there will be a
Mm.
lot of pressing that come Saturday.
Mm. Let's go to the somewhat controversial. People can say whatever they want. Umart has been also Bruce Mart are the players that will give you the most in a game. Even though sometimes Umar becomes a subject as if he's the only one who plays in midfield. I think he starts like because we are playing a double pivot. The question is who plays alongside him? Is it Nteta or is it Castillo?
Eish, man. Hey, because hey, there's one thing that I picked up. You
Mhm.
play Mteta or you play Castillo, they have their slowness.
Hmm.
They really have their slowness, and they can be pressed. I've been talking about being pressed. They can be pressed easily. We saw that against Castillo when we were playing on Castillo. I think we were playing against Sundowns.
Midfield.
That goal there,
Oh,
whereby yeah,
oh yeah, I remember
yeah,
when he went to
where I think it was
collect.
where the keeper I think played it to him, and then he was pressed
Mm.
earlier, and then and Mtetwa. I don't know if it's the injury or what, but he looks more like a shadow of himself. I think maybe it could also be a
Mm.
question of game time, because when he arrived at Chiefs, he started playing, and I think he was starting to settle in. Got injury. Now, I was not happy with how he played the last
I
game.
think he's losing confidence, Umtet,
True, true.
because he's been such a key player for Stellenbosch, and he comes to a team that's so low on confidence, and now he's just another player. He's no longer special. You saw how they were treating him at Stellenbosch, like
Yeah,
Unyambose. But good Chiefs, it's like people also on the internet, on
yeah,
Twitter, are like, Lona, why he happy? He's a fraud and whatnot. So those
yeah.
things, I'm sure they get to these players.
No, definitely, man. I was talking to one of the PSL players
Mm,
I think 3 nights back. Because they like playing for Chiefs, Pirates, and Sundowns is not easy. And West for
mm,
Chiefs when things are not going their way, because
mm.
you don't need a lot of bad games for Chiefs fans to turn on you,
Yeah,
because of what has been
just one.
happening. Yeah, just one, G. And I think prior to now, he had done well, man. And like you're
Mm,
saying, at Stellies, he was a key player. And when you get to
mm,
Chiefs, you also have big egos. You have about Keegan Dole, big name players. Who
mm,
you are finding them there? You're also having Ashley, who's also trying to cement his position, and
mm,
he maybe he had a solid or good first season at Chiefs, playing a couple of games before the injuries hit him here and there. And then you also get big signings that were made maybe during the off season. About Given are there. Not that they clash or something, but when you get to Chiefs, you are not the most important player in
mm.
the squad, because now you get into a team that is used to signing stars. I'm
Sure,
saying stars
sure.
because of some of the players that have played for Chiefs. So you're more
Mm,
like becoming any other player when you get there. You might have been big at a small team, but when you get there, you meet or you play with other big figures in the league.
mm,
So I think uh, answering the first question that you asked, for safety, I would opt for I would still opt for Mtetwa over Castillo, even
mhm,
though I'm not gonna be popular with this one. But simply because
mhm.
I've seen Castillo also arrived as a dangerous player. But he has
Exactly.
also, just like Mtetwa, regressed so quick.
So much, bruh.
Yo, so much. And you look at what happened when he was taking a penalty, he missed as well. All those things are playing into his mind. So I think maybe a
Mm,
little bit of some time understanding, coming in as a sub, maybe he might be able to pick up his form. And this is not just only a Mteto and Castillo thing. A lot of players came to
yeah.
Chiefs performing, and then they regressed or dropped form. Abo Pule, who we will talk about maybe later
Mm,
on. So
yeah.
they came as players who are playing with all their hearts, but you can look at what has been happening lately. Everyone is now at the same position, because that's at the beginning
Sure.
of the season somewhere on top, but everyone, including Keegan, they are now
Yeah.
almost at the same level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the number 10 then, because they've been experimenting with Utoli in the past two games as a 10. But Umshini comes on. Now he's not been setting the league on fire,
Yeah.
but now he comes on, he shows moments. Is he going for experience or is he going for youth exuberance this
Hey,
weekend?
can we throw in just for the sake of conversation,
Hmm.
can we throw in Danzane, who has also maybe returned, maybe might be
No,
available as a surprise
w-
element? I'm just I'm
we
just I'm just
cannot.
just playing around, eh? So he
We
can
cannot.
also play the role,
Yeah,
because now thing is, I haven't been impressed with the two tens that you
Yeah.
mentioned, because
Hmm.
Unqobo, he did well late last year, got
Yeah,
contract
he did.
extension, and
Yeah,
I
after
don't
contract
know.
extension is kind of
You see now after that the
uh,
deal was announced, it kind of went down. Keegan Dolly
and
is
I
one who
said
think.
it. Fun enough, I said it. I said I'm happy, but I'm also feeling like the boy's gonna get comfortable because the
You
coach is
see,
even defending him. He's saying the boy is not fat, but we can see that he has put on some weight. We don't want him to be thin or be buff. We just
yeah,
want him to have muscle mass instead of fat. That's the
yeah.
problem we have.
And the position that he's playing,
Mm,
he's playing more up front. There's gonna be contact up front there. It's
mm,
not like
mm,
he's playing as a goalkeeper, uh,
mm.
whereby you don't get a lot of contact. He's gonna be tackled. You're playing as a
Mm,
10. There are sixes
yeah.
that will try to stop you, and in as much as technically he's one of the best. But
Mm,
we really need to see him putting consistent performances like he did under Gavin Hunt, where
yeah.
I believe he had one of the best seasons under Gavin Hunt. We need that machine back. We definitely need that
Mm,
machine back. But for Udoli, I haven't been impressed with him playing as a 10. I don't think he has offered us anything in that position. I know he's a smart player. I know he knows how
mm,
to play to the strengths of his players, but this season has been tough for him, and I still
yeah.
believe it's gonna be tough if our interim coach still plays him there as a 10. I know maybe it
Yeah.
might be a question of maybe he still needs to maybe drop a couple of weight here and there to play as a winger to take defenders on, but
Yeah.
if he's not fit, he's not fit. That's why I was saying. Because with the debut, big games, you can't predict them. That's why I was throwing
Mm.
a name like Danzan. Maybe he might be on the
Mdantsane
bench and come in as a 10. Because that's one player that I believe was one of the kind of consistent tens that the league has
started
seen.
well,
Because
yeah.
yeah, he can score goals, he can create. But a lot of other things, injuries and other off-field issues have also hindered this Kaizer Chiefs
Mm.
career. But now we have to choose between the two that you've mentioned. I,
There's
I
a
think
third
I'll go.
option though. Before you choose,
Uh-huh.
there's a third option, which is Castillo was saved because he had a yellow card in midweek.
Hmm.
Could we see Castillo, Matt, and Mteto reunite? Is there a
You remember we
possibility?
we went that route in November and we caught hands. If I'm not mistaken, I think yeah, we went that route in November. Yo, we caught hands, and people are saying how
We
these
actually,
guys are
yeah, because it ended up having to play Umshini as sort of a winger, and it was so
yes,
weird because we're playing four of them.
yeah. It was a mess. It was a mess.
Mm,
So I don't think I think he might have learned from that. But
mm,
if I'm the coach and it goes down to me, I'll rather give Mshini a chance. I mean, where we
mhm.
I believe we have nothing to lose, man. If we're gonna
Yeah,
be fighting for position for,
yeah,
sorry, I
might
think we
as
have
well.
nothing to lose. Yeah, we have nothing to lose. Whether you start Umshin and then you bring in Dolly second half, I
Oh,
believe all
even
is well,
better,
man.
Villagas throw him at
Yeah,
the
yeah,
deep
even
end
better
once.
Villagazi, yes. But I think for Villagazi, this game is big. It will definitely send
Yeah,
a wrong message to our opponents. They'll think, no, 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 no. Villagazi doesn't start games against your Polokwane City and then he comes
and then
against us and
umfaka
he starts.
kwi-Oland
And if
usijwayela
we catch
kabi
hands on a game,
bazoyihlaba le ngane.
you see, if we catch hands and then the young man maybe doesn't have a good game, and then you know how social media
Exactly.
is. I think just
Ooh.
introduce him gradually, man.
Exactly. And these
Yes.
games, these previous games should have been that. Like, give
Yes.
him 20 minutes, give him 30 minutes. Because it's not like we're playing well, anyways. You've played
Yes.
Machine, you've seen what he can give you. Take out to Dupree, like in that Milford game. Bring in Umfundo earlier, much earlier than what we did.
Yeah. True.
But we didn't. Anyways, up front, our front three. I think Modi starts. There's no competition there on the left. Uh, Centrally, who are we playing as a nine?
Hey, no, it's hectic. I'm saying it's hectic because you are having a 19-year-old Wandile Duba who just scored.
Um, yeah.
So it becomes hard now. Whether you go with the physical Eranga Gonzalez or you go with a much quicker, nippy, skillful, and a young player that is good in terms of hold up play in one Duba. So
But there's
I
also
think
Dupree, remember, if we're
I
playing
think I think
counters.
I think Dupree, they'll definitely put him on the side.
On the right.
There's no way. Yeah, no, there's no way that for this particular game, G, there's
Mm-hmm.
no way that you are playing Dupree centrally and then shifting Uduba on the side, because Dupree hasn't been scoring. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I think even the last game, I think he didn't start. If I'm right, yeah, it was Sailo who started.
Mm.
So Dupree started on the bench. So I think a safer option centrally would be to go with Uduba, even though he's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be facing an experienced Olisanda. But I
Uxoki
think he would
nonda.
definitely, yeah, I know, but I think he will definitely. Then now we've seen, we shouldn't be afraid. We've seen
Yeah.
Cash Time Mailula dancing against those two and scoring. So
Yeah.
we should be fearless. Let's give the young man a chance. He has deserved. He has deserved to start the game at the next game. He has done well to start the
Mm.
Soweto derby. He has scored. We've been struggling in front of goal. There's no way that you can drop someone who scored such a beautiful goal. It will definitely kill his confidence. Play him against
Mm.
Pirates while
Mm.
his tail is still up. He must go
Uh,
there and take shots at Chaini, who will be starting, I think, as their false keeper.
full skip. So give me your prediction. What are we doing? What's the score on Saturday, tomorrow? For those who've
I
been
mean,
watching to this far, the video is recorded on Thursday, but I'm saying tomorrow.
yeah,
Anyways.
no, no. Hey, it's hectic. It's hectic because I don't see the game having three or more goals.
Mm-hmm.
We
Leze ibheja
it's
yokuzikulalele two and under
yeah,
2.5.
yes, under 2.5. You are saying under
Brought to you
2.5.
by
The biggest panther ever. So I think we are not getting over 3 goals on the weekend.
Mm.
Uh, and definitely as a panther. Let me
Yeah.
continue by BTS. No. I think
uh,
Kaizer Chiefs might edge this 1-0.
mm.
If
1-0.
not,
Who's
yeah,
scoring?
1. I know we'll score. We'll score.
Who's
We need to.
scoring?
Oh, who's scoring?
Doesn't matter. It's gonna go in Uksala.
It doesn't matter. It could be a bad goal, maybe a corner kick goal. But I
Gonna.
believe I believe in Duba, man. I believe in Duba. I think
Yeah.
going to this game having scored, he will definitely have the confidence to take shots, and that's what I believe we've been missing in the couple of games, because we haven't been taking shots even from outside, from range as well. So I
Mm.
think we winning this one 1-0. I just hope I'm
Mm.
right. I just hope I'm
Yeah.
right.
I hope you're right. I just see a nil-nil draw, funny enough, but hey, that's just me. Because
Nah,
we
nah.
don't
Rather
go
say
forward. Huh?
no. Rather say 1-1.
Oh,
Lena,
you don't
I'm
want a
seeing
nil-nil.
the draw one. No, 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 no
Mm.
0-0. There will be a
No
goal on
nil-nil.
Saturday. No
Wait, are you
0-0.
coming? Because me, I'm going.
I know this time I won't be coming. I was there
Mm.
last year. I just have a couple of things that I need to settle this side. So
Yeah.
definitely won't be coming. I'll come maybe for the 1 year next season. But I'm seeing
Nzoben rent a good tweet.
hey, we'll be handling the spaces and everything there. But it's tough, man. In as much as both teams have been underperforming, ne?
Mm.
but I think that's what other fans won't know if you're not supporting the two sides,
Mm.
regardless of how poor the teams have been playing. The
Mm.
Soweto derby shakes your soul,
Yeah,
whether
true.
like whether you're at the stadium or not.
Mm.
You can say, I'm done with Chiefs. You can take your phone and tweet, I'm done with Chiefs.
Yeah.
But when the
But
date
we know you are
approaches,
not.
you'll have stress and you'll wonder how. What am I stressing about? Only to find out that there's a big game that is playing,
Yeah.
because it's big. It's not just big for the players, for the
Mm.
fans. It's also big for the players, because
Yeah.
this is where you win hearts, man. This is where you win
True.
hearts, and this is
Mm.
where these are two teams that unite or divide families in each and
Exactly.
every household. So it's a big game played
Mm.
at a big stadium. Uh, Obviously, broadcasters and everyone, even outside South Africa, will be watching, trying to see like, okay, Kaizer Chiefs have been poor, but can they maybe try to get something. Worst
Mm,
part is that Pirates are coming into this game after drawing a team that they were supposed to take 3 points from.
mm.
So they will
Yeah,
be coming out firing. If we can
sure.
survive first half, we are definitely winning this game. Because I know Pirates, man. I know
Mm.
Pirates when they, like, thing about Pirates is that they know how to play big games.
Yeah,
They know how
just
to
like they
play
did
big,
against Sundowns.
just like they did against, and I think they did it on two occasions. You can include that game where they conceded a penalty.
Mm.
I think it
Yeah, I
was the first
remember
leg. Yeah,
Umshishi, that side.
yeah, but they know how to play big games. They know how to play. Go and you can also go and check at the 3-0 3-0 win that they won at Peter Cup. No one expected Pirates to win on that day. But
Yeah,
they
I
went
remember.
into that game pressed Sunderland. So the tricky part about Pirates is that they just know how to play big games. Because
Mm.
and then the other interesting factor or angle about Chiefs is that you never know which Chiefs is gonna
It's gonna
what do you
show
call
up.
is gonna show up on the day, because
Mm.
they might lose against your Milford. And then come Pirates, just like last season, you put it nicely. Just like last season, I would say Man Yete must go. And then next thing, they win 1-0.
They win 1-0. Exactly.
So I
Exactly.
mean,
It all.
it's you can't really call it to go into this side. This one has the upper hand. That's what I'm saying. We won't see a single team being dominated by a lot of goals.
Mm.
Yeah.
Hey, Tamet, thank you so much. Guys, if you've been watching to this far, why have you not subscribed? Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, equals
Okay.
Alpelumo. Yeah.